ones and twos.
All right, stand by.
Cause your man is G Wade.
Oh, boy.
Shout out to Monique.
We're live.
You know what it is.
Welcome to WAOK. No applause needed. No applause needed. Sean Garvey coming to you live from the WAOK studios by way of Artisy, Atlanta. Good evening, the mental space in which we talk about all things considered mental health in our community. Check us out live on WAOK.com. That's WAOK.com to watch us live or to listen live. But to watch us, you got to go to the Flow Television Network. You got to download the app to your Roku TV for all of my Roku TV viewers out there. Download the app so you can watch us live, or you can just simply go to the website and type in the flow.lightcast.com to watch us live. And don't forget to download the Odyssey app. There's so many apps you got to download these days in the world of technology. But make sure you download the Odyssey app and you can take us with you everywhere on the go. Shout out to Simone, who is on vacation, my executive producer. But we got my AP in the background, Michelle, holding things down with us on tonight's show, ladies and gentlemen. We got a very important conversation we are going to engage in on tonight's show. A very important conversation, something you don't regularly hear on mainstream radio. That's why I said it. You don't regularly hear these type of conversations on mainstream radio. So we're going to bring it to you in just a few moments. Also, big shout outs to the parents and the students that attended the First Day Fulton Back to School pep rally that took place at multiple high schools across the greater metro Atlanta area. Yours truly, I was at North Springs High School this past Saturday, along with our sister station B103 and Star 94. Shout out to Bubby Love and DJ Jelly. DJ Jelly. I was about to say another DJ's name. So many DJs in the ATL. DJ Jelly. Big shout outs to DJ Sturgis. What's up, DJ Sturgis, over at B103 as well. And just for the parents and the students for coming out and making sure they are preparing their kids for back to school. I know for a lot of parents out there that are somewhat happy that our kids are back to school, especially Michelle DeHosberg, who has a son. He just went back to school. He did? Yes, he went back to school. So big shout out to the parents out there for preparing their kids for back to school. I know I was at North Springs High School. Our very own Xavier Brandon from Voices in the Street was at Charles Drew High School. And Danielle Davis, who always does a great job here at WOK, she was at Banneker High School on the south side, down the street from where my grandmother, God rest her soul, used to live at on the south side. All right. So everybody, tonight's topic is going to be on content creators, social media influencers, and mental health. Why are we having this discussion, ladies and gentlemen? Because, like I said, nobody's not talking about it. Nobody's not having a conversation about how this new phenomenon of content could, and will affect your mental health. So we're going to have a conversation about it. We got our special guest in the studio. We got our podcaster. We got podcaster G Wade in the studio. And our very own DJ Miss Eclected. You know DJ Miss Eclected, the producer for On Point with Gwendolyn Stokes, Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And in the second hour of the program, I know you all going to really, really love this. We have Danny Parks. She is a life coach. She's been on the mental space before. Danny Parks, along with Dr. Umar Johnson. Yes, that's what I said it, folks. Dr. Umar Johnson will be calling in on the show. So get ready. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have a power-packed show for you tonight. And hold all phone calls, but still call in at 404-726-1380. We're going to get to all your calls in the second hour of the program, I promise you. But still call in at 404-726-1380 is the telephone number. I need to get my water. I need to get my water because I've been doing all that talking in the past 4.5 minutes. All right. I'm going to share something with you guys before we go into tonight's conversation. So tune in, join in. And of course, we had to open the show up with a brand new instrumental. We are celebrating 50 years of hip hop. We're still celebrating 50 years of hip hop. We only a few days away from the actual birthday of hip hop. So, coming into August, we want to start something brand new, something fresh by opening up with a new hip hop beat. and that you are hearing in the background. So it's the Mental Space with Sean Garvey, News and Talk 1380 WAOK.
Dwelle representing Detroit City, and I'm hanging out with my man, Sean Garvey. You know what it is.
Tune in to On Point with Wanda Lynn Stokes on Thursday, August 3rd.
404-726-1380.
Yeah.
Y'all make sure y'all call in. He said hold phone calls.
Welcome back to the Mental Space. Sean Garvey right here on News Talk 1380 WLK. Once upon a time, I used to do a segment called What Time Is It? And I noticed I haven't done this particular segment in a while. But it's time now for me to be vulnerable for a moment, ladies and gentlemen, because this is a show in which we talk about all things considered mental health in our community. We've been doing this show for almost 2 years now. And I know a lot of people would say that, oh, you can't tie everything into mental health. You can't tie every news story or everything that people do on a day-to-day basis to mental health. And this show is designed to not only talk about all things considered mental health in our community, but it's also designed for you to take accountability for the choices that you make in life. Life is about choices. It's also about relationships and the relationships that you build with people, but it's also about the choices that you make in life, right? So, of course, I shared my own testimonial story since the beginning of the Mental Space, February 2022. And I'm going to be vulnerable with you guys for a moment.
Please.
I had a relapse yesterday. I was doing laundry, doing what I usually do. And I had a depression state of mind because of something that happened in 2020. And I think about my journey, my mental health journey, and I also think about the show and the people that I brought on the show over the past couple of years. And, I almost felt like giving up. Like, why am I doing this show? I appreciate the love and the support that you all have given me since February 2022 to now. But I was just in that depression state of mind because I still have not mentally gotten over that pivotal thing that happened to me in 2022. And I know some people would say and argue, oh, you should get over it, move on. But it takes time. Just like what you're hearing in the background, it takes time. It takes time for people to process things, for people to get over someone or to get over something in order to heal fully and to be in that right mental state. But this also got to do with choices, because I made the choice to keep going, to stay consistent, to run this race that I'm in, and to still sit here and be with you guys. And if we're going to be very candid, I called the 988 number.
All right, brother.
988, which is a reminder to everyone that 988, which is 24/7, 365, you can still call that number, the 3-digit number, if you or someone you know needs someone to talk to. 988. That is the telephone number. So that is my What Time Is It? Right here on the Mental Space with Sean Garvey. Shout out to my assistant, Michelle. I couldn't hear myself in the headphones there because you was doing something there. I don't know what's going on, but we're going to fix it behind the scenes. 404-726-1380 is the telephone number, ladies and gentlemen, right here on the Mental Space with Sean Garvey. Got our two special guests in the studio that took time, T-I-M-E, time out of their busy schedule to join in on the conversation. And I'm going to start by passing the mic over to this wonderful, wonderful sister in the studio. Of course, no stranger to WLK. Why? Because she's here 6 days a week. She's here 6 days a week, Monday through Friday, of course, in the background with the very own Wandalyn Stokes, always doing amazing work in the studio. And I want to make sure I get the applause ready for you because you have been doing so many great things behind the scenes that people talk about you. In a good way, though. In a good way.
I'm nervous.
Kind of important.
Yeah, she's very important. All right, so without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, y'all give it up for the one and only DJ Miss Eclectic in the studio.
What's up, Sean?
Yes.
Thanks so so much for having me. It's, it's interesting to be on the other side of the board.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. It is. How is your mental health?
Woo-wee, let me tell you, with this economy, with everything going up but wages, mental health is tough right now. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be very honest with you. And I'm on the, I'm not going to tell my age, but I'm on a verge age is what I call it. And so, you want to make sure you have goals in life that you want to accomplish. And sometimes you feel like you're behind on those goals. I know as for me, and sometimes you're walking in your goal and you don't even realize, and I'm talking to myself again. But mental health is a struggle right now. I'm going to be very honest with you. With everything going on in the world, with aliens and everything that's going on out here.
So funny you said aliens. I saw a full moon, and then it was that starlight that some of my neighbors have saw the other night. Do you know what I'm talking about? No? Okay.
No, but my best friend did say she was on an airplane and she saw a black figure and it was hovering and it never moved. And she said she kept her eye on it for about 30 minutes and it never moved. And she said, I believe it. I think the aliens are here. I said, well, they might be. I mean, who am I to say that they are not,
We might be talking about the same thing.
Yeah, might be. Maybe that was the aliens shining the light onto the full moon.
Yeah. All right. Well, we appreciate it. DJ Mr. Collected, producer of On Point with Wandalin Stokes. And on my right side in the studio, ladies and gentlemen, he's been a very instrumental part in my radio career. You've heard of him online, also award-winning producer, on-air host, radio personality, and now podcaster. G Wade in the building. G Wade.
What's happening, man? Appreciate it, Sean. What's good, bro?
Man, just maintaining my mental health.
Absolutely, man. I just want to say thank you for inviting me to be a part of your, it was an illustrious panel. I appreciate it. So sophisticated.
Yeah. Now, how is your mental health?
Well, either I'm lying to myself or I'm good. It's one of the two. Mm-hmm. Either I'm lying to myself or I'm good. Because I say I'm good, but I don't know if I'm lying to myself. You know what I mean? Because it's kind of like your natural response to something. How your day going? Good. How you doing? But I don't know if I'm lying to myself. But I like to believe that I'm doing well mentally. But Eclectic mentioned it. Sometimes you got those. I had my good days. You know what I'm saying? I got some hills to climb.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So I'm in that loop. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. We all dealing with it. And like I just said a few moments ago, I had my episode yesterday, but I had to snap back into reality and realize that the creator of all things put me on this planet to help people and to curate this type of show for people to have healthy conversations about their mental health, about their journey, and the choices that they have made in life. So we're coming up on that break. We're at the bottom of the hour, close to the bottom of the hour. We got news coming up, but we're going to dive right into the conversation on content creators, social media influencers, and mental health. Because this is an important conversation that too many people are not having. I mean, we're on YouTube, right? We're on YouTube. I'm on YouTube. You on YouTube. DJ Mr. Collected is on YouTube. Many of us are on YouTube. If we're not watching or listening to WAOK 1380, which I highly, highly encourage you to listen to WAOK every day, but we're all on YouTube. We've seen the videos from content creators putting out content about the plight of Black America. And more so, it's about Black women, Black men, Black women, anything that's pertaining to entertainment, that sort of thing, right? So we're going to talk about it. You can still call in 404-726-1380. It's the telephone number. We got the one and only DJ Mr. Eclectic. Woo! DJ, I was about to say DJ Jelly. Man, so many DJs. G Wade. But you know what? You come across like you are almost a DJ.
Right.
G Wade.
Absent the ones and twos.
It's the Mental Space with Sean Garvey. News and Talk 1380 WAOK.
With no delay, and so what you saying,
I was like, that phone don't work. I was trying to answer that one. I didn't want to say it on air, but that phone don't. You can't hear nothing on that phone.
Nothing. Thank you.
Yes.
I thought it was me. Because I always answer from over
Yeah,
here.
you can't. That phone.
It's raggedy, but it's new. Yes, no. Okay.
Oh yeah, I meant to.
I'm trying to break the board so they'll give us a new one.
The Mental Space with Sean Garvey right here on News and Talk 1380 WAOK. Also, big shout outs to everyone that attended this past Saturday's Poetry versus Hip Hop live show hosted by the Queen herself, Queen Sheba, starring Algebra. Had a great time, and it was definitely a battle between poets and rappers. Very interesting. I can't tell you who won, though. You should have been there. Got our special guest in the studio with us this evening right here on the Mental Space. We have the one and only G Wade.
Yes, sir.
And we also have DJ Mr. Eclectic from On Point with Wandalyn Stokes. 404-726-1380 is the telephone number. You can also watch us live IG at 1380 WAOK. What is a content creator? Since we are on the subject of content creators, social media influencers, and mental health. What is a content creator? A content creator is anyone who creates any kind of content for an audience to consume. I'm going to go over to you, G Wade. To you, what does it take to be a content creator nowadays?
Definitely takes consistency. That's my word of the day, my word of the year, my word of the decade. Because if you're not cranking out something, some kind of content, you know, it's almost like, who is you? You know what I'm saying? So it's a person who is creating some type of content based on the description or definition for people to consume. That's what's up. And so, so that's my brief definition of what a content creator is.
Yeah. Okay. What about, well, before I go to DJ Mr. Eclectic, do you consider yourself a content creator?
I did not consider myself that at first because I didn't know that title existed. I just thought
I did not know that existed
right.
as well.
I just thought I was working. I'm just doing what I do. Right. Hey, I want to be in a band. I'm gonna be in a band and create something.
Right.
Hey, I want to be a rapper. I'm a rap and create music. Hey, I want to act, so I'm gonna get in a movie or TV show, and I'm gonna, be an actor. I'm gonna create some kind of content in some kind of way. But I didn't know that was a term. So I've been a content creator all my life. You know what I'm saying? And so yeah.
What kind of content do you create?
Well,
because you do host the G Wade podcast.
I do.
Yeah.
I'm a filmmaker by love, by trade, but by passion.
Okay.
So my content is always something visual, something that people can see. And I've been doing it for years, and then I've kind of segued over into the radio space heavy. And in fact, that's how you and I met here in Atlanta. Segued into radio space really, really heavy. But then I've just recently made the pivot back into, I guess you can say, my first love, which is film and television. So the type of content that I create is video, visuals, film.
But it's more so when I look at your content, it's more so inspirational. It comes from an inspirational place.
Yes,
right?
Absolutely.
Okay. DJ Mr. Eclectic, I know you are a content creator just as much as G Wade is. What do you think about the content that you see nowadays? Not just only on television, but online. I heard you say, "Oh Lord." You're honest. That's what we're here for. That's what the mental space is all about. Honesty.
What I see a lot is copycat. Is what I see a lot of. When I see it, I don't even know if we're creating. I mean, there's some amazing creators out there. I definitely want to get that. Well, a lot of times you have these. What's this do one where you kind of mirror what people do? What is that called? Now,
when you do it?
I'm an 80s baby. Yeah, what is it? You do it. See? So, and all you do is like a reaction video. So all you doing is you're sitting there, you're doing this. You got your hand under your chin and you're looking at them. And it's for the person who's already created the content. And I mean, I'm not mad at it because people are gaining, millions of views on that. And hey, if that's what you're doing, if that creates value for somebody, if that, jogs somebody's interest, then that's cool. But that's a lot of what I see now. That's a lot when I turn on Instagram. And I'm not gonna lie, I watch the reaction video too. But the thing is, while I'm watching the reaction video, I can become a content creator and make my own reaction videos. The thing is, the way I'm sitting here looking, reaction, the way I'm sitting here looking at the video, like with my hand under my chin, is all that they are doing. So it's actually kind of smart, and I'm really not mad at it, but it's what I do see.
Yeah, I want to revisit that part of the conversation, especially in the second hour when we bring Danny Parks and Dr. Umar Johnson in just a few moments about content creation, because that's the new phenomenon on YouTube, right? So, like I said before we went into the break, a lot of us watch YouTube. We go on YouTube. Actually, that's the first platform that I go and tune into when I go home, right? If I'm not listening to WLK, which of course I listen to WLK all the time, I have no choice because I'm one of the personalities here at WLK. But on YouTube, especially with Black content creators, it's like you see more, and this is just from my personal observation, people, you see more Black content creators talking down on their own race or talking down on their own people. They're sharing their perspectives, their opinions, their views on things that are happening in entertainment, in the news, and things of that sort, right? But it can be triggering at times. It can be triggering, you know, which will cause you to make those reaction videos, right? And so we can throw some names out there, right? We can throw names such as Andrew Tate, for example. Some of you all that's listening may not know who Andrew Tate is, but Andrew Tate is a well-known YouTuber who's known to give his opinions and thoughts about relationships nowadays, especially about modern women. That's the term nowadays, modern women and everything. You know, there's Andrew Tate. There's this new person called Just Pearly Things, who is non-African. Let me just say that, non-Black, but of the Caucasian community. And of course, we all know Kevin Samuels, who passed away last year. Do you think, and I'm going to go back over to you, G-Way, like people like Kevin Samuels, Andrew Tate, Just Pearly Things, we can go on and on and on, right? Do you think those content creators offset a lot of other new and current content creators to come out and do content where they pretty much just spend time talking about things, sharing opinions about what they don't like? Do you think they became like the pioneers or help offset what a lot of people are doing nowadays on YouTube?
Now, when you say offset, what do you mean when you say?
When I say offset, I mean set everything off for a lot of content creators, new and current, to come behind them and pretty much put out the same rhetoric at times as the Kevin Samuels and the Andrew Tates and of the world.
Well, you know, excuse me, I look at those type of content creators as it's similar to the way I look at the news, to be honest with you, because the conversations and the content is all the same. I don't know if y'all remember the story of Chicken Little's "The Sky Is Falling." It caused pandemonium in a town. Okay. The sky is falling. The sky is falling. So it became, if I said it, and then you said it, and then she said it, and then you said it, and they said it, it becomes the real reality.
The truth.
It becomes the truth. Right. It's the narrative. Most people run with a narrative. And so if I keep saying the same thing and I notice that same thing moves the needle, why would I change topics? Why would I talk about something else? I'm going to talk about the thing that moves the needle. Yeah. I'm not a fan of the, gotcha. Like you said, I post stuff that's kind of more inspirational type of things. So I'm not a fan of the always got to talk down, always got something negative to say, always got to go in on Black men, Black women, back and forth. But it's the narrative, and it becomes the reality, which is really still the lie, because none of it is, only some of it is true. Yeah. Because it all can't be true. You know what I mean? It's impossible.
You made a good point. If it's put out there, if someone says it and then another person says it and then another person says it, then it's got to be true without doing any type of research, without doing no type of homework on myself. I'm going by what people on the internet, people that I have never seen in my entire life, I'm going based off of what they said.
I haven't vetted anyone on who they are and what kind of background they have, and what kind of, anything they have regarding the stuff that they talk about. Right. And I know for me, I mean, I'm sorry to cut you. I know for me, when I look at certain people talking about certain things, I start saying, yeah, you didn't get no girls in high school. So you just got a platform right now,
Right.
and it's bringing you the attention that you so desired.
Let's talk about that
I like it.
on the opposite side of the break. 404-726-1380, because you brought up a good point. The truth, right? What is the truth? You haven't done no research. You're going based off of what people on the internet are saying. So let's talk about that when we come back from the break. Content creators, social media influencers, and mental health. What does this got to do with mental health? We're going to talk about it more right here on The Mental Space with Sean Garvey.
Follow The Mental Space on
That's a good
social
point.
media at Mental
Yeah.
Space
I
Live.
mean, it's just this. Everything is the narrative.
Like us on Facebook.
Let's go with what they say.
1380 WAOK. You can watch us on your flat screen TV, your plasma TV. I don't know if anybody still have an analog TV in their homes, but you're not going to be able to watch the Flow television network on your analog TV, but you can watch it on your Roku TV, your Apple TV, Fire Stick, and multiple devices. But you can simply go to the flow.lightcast.com for all of my internet users out there. Sean Garvey, the mental space, along with my special guest, DJ Miss Eclectic from On Point with Wandolin Stokes, and podcaster G Wade of the G Wade Podcast, as we continue to talk about content creators, social media influencers, and mental health. Before the break, G Wade, something you alluded to about listening to people on the internet, people that we have never seen before, right? And the more and more you hear it, and the more people that are talking about it on the internet, you start to believe them, right? I remember, and this coincides with mental health. Mm-hmm. I remember having a conversation with a former friend of mine, and the name Kevin Samuels was brought up in the conversation. So remember, I mentioned Kevin Samuels, who is one of those former YouTubers, and I say former because he passed away. One of those YouTubers at the time that triggered a lot of people, primarily women, Black women, women of color. And when I tell you that the conversation surrounding Kevin Samuels was very triggering to her, she ended the friendship with me.
Wow.
No lie. But prior to that, she too had mental health challenges. She was traumatized from past experiences in her personal life. And looking back at it, right, I understand. Because, a person of that stature that say things that you don't necessarily agree with, or you may agree with some of what that particular individual said, but it's some things that a person says that takes you back in time to that moment where something happened to you in your past that causes you to be traumatized. Like, what can you expound on that, DJ Miss Eclectic? Because we had conversations on and off about that, but can you expound on that, on why certain content creators, whether their names are brought up in conversations or you hear about them on the internet, and how triggering it is? Like, can you expound on that and how that makes you feel, not just only as a content creator, but as a Black woman?
You talking about like certain people?
Or just certain people, not every, because there's so many content creators out there,
right?
But we only know the ones that we used to listening to on the internet.
The polarizing figures.
The polarizing. There you go.
There you go. I mean, for saying you want to talk about a woman's standpoint, it could trigger something from her past. It could be some trauma that she had, and then whatever he said, it could be something she's never healed from, and it could actually touch it. So we can't control, what happened to us in our past, but we do have control once we're of age to go and get help for whatever happened to us. So it could be something that she's never healed from, and then whatever Kevin Samuels said, it could have been true, it could have been not true, but it could have been something that happened in her past or that's currently happened that you didn't know of. Now, personally, I'm not going to let somebody that I don't know personally, somebody that has self-proclaimed credentials, to evoke those type of emotions on me, because I don't know if you're really a doctor. I don't know what your real credentials are. I don't know when you went to school. I don't know any of this. I'm only going by what you told me and what Wikipedia says. So I'm not going to let that bring out those type of emotions, but I can understand somebody who has not healed. I can understand how that can happen. Thank God I have healed and I have gone to therapy. So, I am pro therapy. So I think that's amazing, but I can't see how it can't happen for some women. I really can.
Okay. 404-726-1380 is the telephone number. I'm going to come over to you, G Wade. We're going to switch gears for one moment, but still stay on the conversation pertaining to content creators and social media influencers. Now, according to Social Nation, as young people, we are living in a digital age where we have the ability to create and consume content online more than ever before, right? Absolutely. With this content flow of content creation, it's important to consider the impact it may have on our mental health as creators, from the pressure to constantly produce new content to the fear of negative feedback the world of content creation online can be tough one to navigate. How do you feel? How do you feel, G Wade? Like, you're a content creator and you put out content every week, right? Do you feel the pressure of having to put content out there, to put stuff out there in time for people to watch and to listen?
I would say, and I'm gonna use the word unfortunately, yes. I shouldn't feel the pressure of it, but at times I do. At times I sit around like, oh, I need to, put something together and put something out, and kind of like don't want to get lost in the sauce in a sense, or have the, we kind of, in a sense, suffer from the FOMO, that was the fear of missing out. You don't.
Oh wait, I'm glad. You know what? You just brought something out. Matter of fact, I need to text my colleague. Because we're supposed to be on
trigger.
I'm supposed to text my colleague about it because we're supposed to have a conversation surrounding FOMO.
Okay.
But continue.
Well, yeah, there's the fear of missing out. There's the fear of getting lost in the algorithm abyss. So you want to kind of, what they say, keep the algorithms popping so that you can stay popping. Even though ultimately, I still don't get how it all goes down when it comes to putting out content. Mm-hmm. I listen, I watch, I pay attention, I look at YouTube videos that hear what quote unquote the experts say about how it works, but yet it's still, I'm like, yeah, I don't know why this video that I put out did a couple people, but this one did thousands of people, and I don't know what was it about the video. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What was the content that made that do that?
So funny because I don't consider myself to be a content creator. I consider myself to be a writer, producer, and I come from the old school days of radio, right? Mm-hmm. You didn't hear, like, I'm just like you. We never heard the word content creators. We either heard broadcasters, radio personalities, journalists, right? Mm-hmm. But even content creators can be their own journalists nowadays, because to what you alluded to just a few moments ago, if one person says this and says that, then it's got to be true, right? And it's the same thing where we get our information from journalists, from news anchors, right? And so content creators are now the new journalists, are the new anchors of broadcasting these days.
And to a degree, you can't be mad at the shift or the transition or the flow or evolution of how things are kind of moving, because that's with anything. It moves in, with the time. You know what I mean? It's going to transition to something, you know what I mean, in some kind of way, some kind of new form, but yet be the same thing. You know what I mean? It's still content, but we just getting it delivered to us differently.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, we got the one and only Dr. Umar Johnson holding on to us. He's going to come in during the second hour of the mental space. For all of my viewers watching us on the Flow Television Network, theflow.lightcast.com, tune in right now to WAOK.com and on the Odyssey app to hear the entire conversation with our panel of guests, DJ Mr. Eclectic, the one and only G Wade of the G Wade podcast, Dr. Umar Johnson coming up, as well as Danny Parks. You still got time to call in at 404-726-1380. It's the telephone number to weigh in on the conversation. Content creators, social media influencers, and mental health. It is the Mental Space with Sean Garvey right here on WAOK 1380 and on the Flow Television Network.
Hey everybody, what's up? This is Reggie Gay here with Sean Garvey on the Mental Space. Listen, don't make room for bad news. Make every day your own good news, and always keep yourself and others in a great mental space.